All right, welcome back. Bob Pompeani, Paul Zeise. We're joined right now by Richie in Pittsburgh. What's up, Richie? How are you?
I'm great, Bob. You?
Good. What's going on?
I was just curious. What happened to the young fella who came up about the same time as Brian Reynolds that was playing shortstops? My wife and I called him Mr. Baseball because all he ever did was
Cole
play
Tucker. Cole Tucker.
Yeah.
Well, he lost his job basically to Kevin Newman, who came, who took it. I mean, I don't think you're going to hear the end of Cole Tucker. He's going to be up here at some point. So is Ke'Bryan Hayes. They have some really decent prospects in that regard. So we'll see. And Paul, I think it's a nice thing to have. It may lead the way to a move to second for Newman, depending on how they view Frazier, whose bats come alive.
Well, I would think you would put Newman at second and Cole Tucker at short, and then you'd have Hayes at third and Josh Bell at first. You've got a pretty good young infield there, at least especially offensively or whatever. But I think Newman is a better fielder, much better fielder than Frazier, and it allows you to take Frazier and make him the new Josh Harrison, where he plays every position and he's sort of your super utility guy.
All right, let's go to Marilyn, who's been waiting. Marilyn and Munhall, what's up?
Hi, there was a lot of chatter about Letang being traded, but I was wondering how much noise there was about trading Malkin. He was injured. He had a couple mediocre seasons. What were his chances of being traded?
I don't think they probably would listen, but I don't think they have any interest in doing it. I think they're still going to be trying to build down the middle the way they have. I still think they need Letang to do what they want to do from a back end. He gets a lot of ice time, so I don't think any of that was going to happen. There was going to be a trade. I'm not surprised it was Kessel.
Right.
And, he's added some new pieces here. We'll see how they do. How did you view the Brandon Tanev signing?
I think, it adds something that they needed. Absolutely. I think, it gives them a little bit different look, a little different personality. I think he gives you some things that you haven't had here. So I like it. Do you like the? I do. I like the sign. I mean, obviously
they missed that this year.
Yeah.
They had nobody playing that role at all.
And the terms probably are maybe a little bit long, but you got to overpay guys if you want them. So sometimes you got to do that. And so
I don't have a problem. Plus, it's only $3.5 million a year.
I would say if they're going to do anything, it's going to be probably, they're going to try and trade somebody like Jack Johnson if they want to make one more move.
Yeah, but I don't
know who's taking.
They may buy him out before they do that.
I mean, there's some guys that they might be able to push aside.
Tom in St. Louis. What's up, Tom? How are you?
Hey, Bob, I wanted to switch topics with you here for a moment. Now,
Sure.
I know you're kind of an NBA guy. As well as Pittsburgh support, you thought there'd ever be a chance for Pittsburgh to get an expansion team? I think they'd probably support them.
I don't know about an expansion team, and I like Paul. We both like NBA. I'd like to see it here personally, just because I like the game. But expansion teams, I don't think would catch on. Number one, I don't think there are enough corporate dollars to support.
That's the key.
Right. I mean, it's hard enough to get corporate support for all of the teams we have here now.
I mean, it's hard enough for Mario, who's maybe the all-time greatest athlete and, biggest name we've had here. It's tough enough for him to get corporate dollars, and not saying that the Penguins are strict, but you understand what I'm saying.
Right, no, I get it.
Some out-of-towner comes in here with an NBA team, I mean, good luck. There's not enough support that way for it to happen.
But I think generally, if a winning team, if a team that came and went to the Eastern Conference Finals,
I think there's a basketball audience here.
I do too.
Speaking of which, real quick, T.J. McConnell to Indiana. How about that?
Yeah, that's not a bad gig here. $7 million for him. I thought he might get more, but he's a good, valuable player. We're due for a break. We'll take it and come back right here. Happy 4th of July, everyone.